count. I've lost count, so I can swear as much as I like.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh.
You didn't hear a thing.
It's like a game of what's that game that you play where it's like
I don't know.
Risk or
Monopoly?
doing something, take it to put the edge,
Ludo.
doing something. No,
Chicken.
No.
Chicken.
I get what.
It's
Yeah, I
like-
get what you mean. It's
Yeah.
like chicken, but not.
Yeah. It's like trying to push it to the absolute limit before you do something stupid.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like when two cars go like that. And
Chicken.
yeah, chicken.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what
I was
we're
just
playing.
I do that
driving down
quite
the
often
wrong
with
way
other
and being
cars.
really stubborn.
Yeah.
Anyway, as
What a
usual,
game.
Yeah.
after a
Yeah.
flying start of complete
Or it's
nonsense,
just grandma needs an
Hello,
ice.
everyone. How are you?
welcome to the IMT professional stream of TTRPG gaming.
Yeah, long time no see.
TTRPG gaming.
Yes.
That's like pin number. Isn't it?
TT, I see.
Yeah. Anyway.
Tonight we are playing Those Dark Places, which has been written and designed by our dear friend, Mr. Jonathan Hick, who is not streaming against us right now.
Don't go and see him.
Yeah, report the channel
If
quickly.
you do want to go and see it, just search it, and it's like
Yeah.
you probably get not really.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you don't know
Go and
what
see
it-
him because he's cool.
Yeah, he is
I'm
cool.
way
He's
better at this.
amazing, and he designed the game, and it's we have to kind of loved it. It's a bit of sci-fi, bit of horror, bit of Event Horizon kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we are a multi-game channel. We play lots of different games. There's a whole group of us which started a couple of years ago, and we just get bigger and more mad and more daft every
I think
week.
it's just I think it's just COVID chub.
Yeah. So anyway, tonight we are, to say, we're playing Those Dark Places. Tomorrow we are playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is being ran by our good old GM Kadari. Kadari. Did I say it right? Oh my god. Yeah,
Holy
it's
crap.
pirates.
Yeah.
Pirates on the seas of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Yes.
Yarg. I mean,
And then Monday and Tuesday is our kind of our RPG clubs where we actually learn to play games and we do it offline, so it's all chilled out. Mondays is Dungeons and Dragons, which is run by Croy, who was one of the founders of the group, and on Tuesday we have Aliens, which is being run by Commander Strain, who's not with us, bless him. But yeah, so that's everyone's
not
quite
with
excited
us.
about the Aliens game if you like aliens.
and who doesn't? Who doesn't, Ange?
Who doesn't like the
Who
alien
doesn't
films?
like Alien?
Me.
Hmm?
Terrible
Mm.
film, run around,
Yeah.
big guns, in the dark. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, you
There
don't
go.
have to worry about it. Soon there'll be like a PG-13 like TV show.
Oh.
They've already got Aliens toys rated 7 and up, so it's
Oh.
not really a grown-up thing anymore.
Oh, there you go. Never was anyway. Then Friday the 23rd, we're going back to part 2 of Hellboy, which we did have a bit of a blast when we played that last. Even though I don't like Hellboy, because Hellboy is red and it's this really big hand, and I just find the big hand really annoying. I have funny things about things, if you hadn't noticed. So this is why I'm not normally allowed to introduce the evening. So there you go.
Amazon. I'd like to order a giant foam hand, please.
No, don't like that. His hand. Don't you do when you just watch it? All I can see for the whole film was this big hand. It's just so annoying.
It's
Just,
the
it's just
key.
not.
It's irrational. It's an irrational thing
It's
you
just
have going on
annoying.
there.
This hand. But yeah, there you go. So that's the 24th. We're back for our double whammy weekend of a D&D in the day, which is an offline again, part of like our RPG club, which is run by Kaldari. And then we go back, which haven't been on our normal campaign of D&D for about 4 weeks now, because of the hollybobs and things like that. So we're back on that, which is really cool. And then I think we are starting that week after the Agents of Concordia on the Tuesday night.
No.
Yes, you
Yes.
was. So that's really cool. And then Croy will be running Cthulhu Dark on Friday the 23rd, which quite looking forward to. And then we're back to Mutant Mastermind. August is back to the normal kind of routine of Carbon, D&D, and Mutant Masterminds. We've got Those Dark Places and Cthulhu Dark finishing off for August. So it's quite back after the hollybobs and all that. we have got a couple of games coming up which we are looking for players for. I think there's one more space on Croy's Cthulhu Dark. The Agents of Concordia, which is the our RPG club, we can fit some more in on that. And well, I'm not sure actually. You got those Dark Places, Marky. Is this going to be a continuation of this one, or are you doing a completely different one?
Bloody well hope not.
Okay then. So yeah, we need some players for that one.
Never say never.
And then starting in October, we are taking the normal slot of of Dungeons and Dragons offline for 16 weeks. I think it will be.
How many weeks?
16, because John Hicks, who's streaming against us, is he's going to be running a Warhammer Fantasy First Edition game. No, it's 6 sessions bi-weekly, so that'll be 12 weeks, won't it? I got a bit carried away there. But there's Christmas in there, so I think it will be a little bit of a, So yeah, so we have 3 slots taken on that already, so there's probably only 2 more spaces on that. So that's going to be sort of a mini long campaign, different thing, and D&D will go into hiatus for those weeks. So jump onto the Discord. So go in there and then go to the looking at games thing, and then go for the looking at players games, and then join us, because we're not that scary. We're really not. So now we're going to hand over to some old pirate, aka Marky.
And his funky bunch.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he'll introduce you to everybody, and then we're going to start playing, because we've got a special guest tonight.
We got a new player. We got a new player this evening. Wave, Ninu.
Oh, you
There you
mean
go.
which
She's
way?
waving. She's waving.
Oh,
Daisy.
wait.
Wait for it.
Wait.
Wait for it. It'll be worth it. Come on. Oh.
That's a little bit.
I know.
That's a little bit discombobulated.
A little bit disturbing, isn't it? Maybe?
No,
I like the idea of a character that has their scalpel in their spacesuit.
Oh, she's in character. In character. What a professional.
Thank you.
Put the rest of us to shame. Yeah, so we're playing
this
these.
is how I dress when I'm in space all the time.
Those. We're going to be playing a game of Those Dark Places this evening, written by Jonathan Hicks, or the game was designed and written by Jonathan Hicks, friend of the stream. It's an industrial science fiction game. It borrows elements from films such as Aliens, Outland, and Event Horizon, and sticks them in this lovely, lovely game. My favourite game, to be fair. And it's great. And so we're gonna be playing this. Nina will be joining us as a doctor in this game.
Yeah.
We're all playing scientists, so this is going to be well, not all of us are scientists, so some are engineers. So shall we get to it?
Let's go get him.
Do it.
Go, Gadget, go.
Let's do this thing.
He had a silly hat as well.
At least you know you've got a story to look forward to.
All right. So, you are all crew members of La Jolla Station, a research outpost that's owned and operated by the biotech corporation Hirota Genetech. The station is in a wide orbit around a gas giant in the Pi Orionis star system. It's about 26 light years from Earth. And the primary thrust of the research being conducted at La Jolla is the production of biochips, which are tiny silicon protein-based microcomputers that are intended to act as an interface between a human being and artificial limb. Nothing creepy about that or whatsoever. And La Jolla has been abuzz with gossip since Dr. Louis Barber's contract was summarily terminated 3 days ago. Barber is not a popular member of the crew. He's a taciturn, surly fellow. He's notably sloppy with cleaning up his apparatus used during his experiments, and that doesn't endear him to those with whom he shares the lab. No one, however, can deny his brilliance. though it's likely his nature that has kept him as a mid-level researcher rather than a member of the elite. One of you, and I'm going to say it's going to be you, Lloyd, is slightly more tolerant of him than most. And if you can think of a reason why that might be, that would be great, but it's no big deal.
I mean, I'm the most wise and beneficent person on the crew.
Oh, okay. So who are you playing?
So I'm playing Gideon Bahari, who's a former soldier, like fought in like the border wars, or
okay,
like around like in various conflicts around the sort of the stars, and then he's kind of retired to a life in like private security. So that's how he sort of ended up here.
Working here in the
arse
end of nowhere.
Yep.
Cool.
So I figured it'd be somewhere like safe and cushy compared to like out there where everything is life threatening.
Yeah. So it's been 3 days since you heard that he'd been summarily dismissed, and you're kind of surprised to see him one evening on the recreation deck. You know that he's kept himself to himself pretty much since he was fired. And he's looking surprisingly well. Complexion's a little less pallid than usual.
I'll wander over. You were like, you've been keeping a low profile lately.
Well, I got fired. What did you think? What do you think I'll be doing?
I wouldn't want to guess. It's probably been difficult. I mean, I know you did the work. It's unfortunate that they disagree.
Well, can't trust the company. The company.
I'm into that. Just like raise the beer, like those corporate types.
Yeah.
Sell out anyone for a paycheck.
Yeah. McNary, man. And his face softens slightly as he says, "Hey, listen, But then he goes a bit distant. His voice trails off before he finishes, and then he's kind of moving off away between the small crowd of people that seems to be moving to and fro on the recreation deck. And it's kind of an odd reaction for him. And there's something about it that makes you think that maybe he had something that he wanted to tell you. So we're going to jump over now to Tony. Who's your character, Tony?
My character is Zachariah Jensen, or Zach. He was a navigator for a range of ships. He's seen quite a few, but since being stationed on the station, he's taken a liking for engineering, so we can still be, with the ships and still get a hand in and be able to like wander around and fix things.
Hey, cool. So the secondary safety monitor warning sensor for Lab 1, which is one of the numerous biochip labs that's here, has triggered again. And it's flashing its message up on the console. It's the third time this week. And there's not much more you can do with it. I mean, luckily, the DSCV Roback is due to arrive at the station in 7 days' time, and it's bringing supplies and a number of urgently needed spare parts. Your colleague, Abdul Adeboye, he kind of sees the warning, and he leans across to view your monitor. "That's not so bad," he says. "The air movement sensor in Corridor B keeps setting itself off and scaring the shit out of everyone in the area," and he chuckles to himself. The air movement sensors are scattered around the station, and they're meant to detect any changes in the motion of the airflow that could indicate a hull breach or loss of pressure, and they're quite sensitive. But the secondary safety monitor is a backup of the primary monitor. Surprise! And is intended to seal the lab if it's alerted to a biohazard containment breach. Fortunately, the primary system has never failed. And you've only got to keep the system ticking over for another 7 days, right? So you can head on down if you want to go and attempt to repair this sensor again. You can make your way down through the station, and let's have a roll from you. I think we'll have the first roll of the evening. And this is going to be an education and engineering roll.
So it's +2 minutes.
It is. Yeah, which gives you a +2 on your roll. Yeah. Oh, you've got those crazy dice. How dare you?
I will change them if I need to. Yeah, I forgot I left the one.
Yeah, so you spend a good hour in front of this panel with the thing in pieces. You've got all your kind of toolkit around you, fixing this thing up. You do the best thing you can, but you're pretty sure that this isn't gonna last. But like I say, only 7 days, right?
Yeah, I'll just keep coming down, fixing it.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Ange,
Hello.
who's your character?
I am Susan Wilk. I am the head liaison officer for Hiroshima Genetic.
I should have thought about this, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you make names up that you know I'm not going to be able
Should
to
be
say.
Angie's Corp.
Yeah, Angie's company. That would be
Hirota
better.
Genetech.
I am a corporate bod.
Okay.
I am extremely loyal to the company. I will follow all the rules, and if the rules of the corporation are broken, we'll resort to very elaborate methods to make you go back, abide by the rules.
He sounds pretty scary. I think we just found our villain, folks. Okay, so Executive Officer McNary, he's sitting behind the large plastic desk in his office. He's the guy that runs the whole place. The wood grain laminate is starting to detach itself from the top of the desk. It's curled up just a millimeter. He's had a lot on his mind lately, it seems. And you've had the impression that he's been a little distracted. Probably since the business with that unpleasant mid-level researcher. What was his name again? Barber. That was it. Before he fired Barber, McNary had seemed to be quite taken with the man. He even declared him a genius. Although God knows why. The very few dealings you've had with him seem to involve him upsetting other crew members, and you having to act as a mediator. Well, he'll be leaving on the Roebuck after it's unloaded its cargo of supplies and spare parts. Hopefully, in a week's time, Barber will be gone, and McNary will be back to his old self. And the old man looks at you. Could have been throwing up pictures, which would have been.
Oh, corridor.
Do you like that? Do you like that? It's nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah, so he's, like I say, he's been distracted. But he looks up at you from the desk. He sees you kind of standing there. His office is quite dark. It's quite dingy. This station itself is about 50 years old. It was owned by another corporation previously, and it was bought by Hirota, and they own and operate it now. But it's showing signs of its age, and the air scrubbers don't work properly. The lighting is very gloomy, and you can see all of that in McNary's office. There's this kind of general haze that seems to be lying around in the low light. And he says, Susan, I have a message I need sending to the board. It's got a considerable amount of data attached to it. Do you think you could drop by the comm center and send it for me? I don't want to wait for the Roebuck to deliver it. And make sure it's encrypted. The information it contains is strictly their eyes only.
Certainly. I should do it right away.
And he hands you this little stick, this data stick. And you make your way down to the comm center, which is on the utilities deck, which is kind of right near the bottom. It's like the lowest deck of the station. Just below that is the long tunnel that connects right down to the fusion reactor, which powers the whole space station. you have this data stick in your hand, and it does have a lot of data attached to it.
I'll just go and do my job.
Oh, okay. Okay, not even slightly rebellious, which is
No.
unusual.
It's corporate information for their eyes only, so I will just send it. My boss has told me to do it.
All right. Okay. Okay. And so you send the message off, no questions. You encrypt it just like asked. You don't view it, and off you disappear off into the whatever it is you do, whatever Susan
Take the
does.
stick
after-
with me, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Let's jump then to our medic, Ninu, your character.
Oh,
You don't have to be. Don't hi there. You don't have to be elaborate.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a very very smart prodigy. I am very good with scalpel. My hands are very steady. I have a keen sight for exploring things. Usually things inside
People.
people. Yes, but all for a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely. And
For
you're like the new kid here, I think, as well. You're very young. You're straight out of medical school, pretty much. And you found yourself on this space station out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Where they're conducting this very, very important and exciting research. And you're in the med lab.
Yep.
Let's have a quick look how that looks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So high tech.
It
This
is. It is
all I
high-tech.
wanted.
See what happens
And
when you put a
there
hamster
is
in it.
there is another character here with you, Dr. Kayleen Brennan, and she. Well, there's two of you. There's another character. There's two of you, and there's another person as well. But Brennan, she kind of gives you a sideways glance, and she says, "First tour, huh? Well, I guess you landed on your
yes.
feet."
Yes, but I'm super excited. Yes, I'm very excited. Please, I just want to get my hands.
Yeah.
in.
Okay. You calm down now. First year out of school, and you wind up on the cutting edge of medical science.
Yes.
And you're not sure if you sense an element of disapproval in her voice, a kind of a "whose ass did you kiss to get this gig" kind of attitude. And then the other person in the room, Corporal Pope, he senses it too, and he kind of smiles and he says, "Hey, don't mind Dr. Brennan here. She's actually quite a charmer when you get to know her."
I believe so. Like, is she like well known?
Is she what? Sorry.
Is she known like within the
Oh,
medical field?
yes, she is. I mean, she's pretty much one of the leading scientists behind this whole biochip project that's been going on.
I guess I'll be kissing her ass then.
Yeah, you got to kiss a little bit of the rear end.
I'm a fan of your work. I've read so many of your reports, especially the one on yeah, that one.
That one, yeah, that one.
It was amazing.
Yeah, she kind of smiles as you kind of throw all these platitudes out of her, and she kind of turns to you and says, "Corporal Pope here. He needs a thorough physical examination, and then we'll put him in." And she gestures to the large, elongated metal and plastic cylinder that dominates the far wall. There's a table that's kind of topped with a cushioned plastic covering, and there's a structure on the end of it that appears to slot perfectly into the center of the whole of this cylinder. Clearly, there's some procedure is about to occur here, and you're well aware of that. They are about to inject Corporal Pope with some of these specially designed smart cells, as they're calling them, which are kind of like this cybernetic cell that is going to help him with his particular problem. Corporal Pope is missing his right arm, and there is a massive scar tissue where his shoulder is, and this large kind of sophisticated looking metal ring, which is used in an attempt to where the prosthetic arm that he's going to be fitted with eventually, you hope, it attaches. And so as you're going to give him this thorough physical, I think you should make a roll. I think you should make an education roll, and you can add you're your primary medical officer, so you can add a +2 to your roll. Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Okay. So yeah, you certify this guy. He's in pretty good shape. He's an ex-soldier. He's in pretty good shape. And all his vitals, they're looking pretty good to you. You're quite satisfied. You think that, yeah, it's probably safe to go ahead with the procedure. Okay.
You're in good hands.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say.
Okay.
And he kind of smiles at his little joke. Let's have a picture of it as well, so we can. I'm just showing you these pictures because when they all eventually die, it just means a little bit more.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so after the examination, you kind of place him onto the cushioned table that you saw, and Brennan punches some commands into the nearby console, and she's staring at the screen, which is suddenly awash with an array of green numbers and symbols. You can see them all reflected in her face. And after a few minutes, she kind of looks satisfied, and she looks up at you, and she's the whole thing kind of slides into the cylinder, kind of locking Corporal Pope inside. I'm beginning the smart cell insertion now, she says. Report any changes in his vitals. And
Yes.
you know that inside the cylinder, there's this automated mechanical arm which is now poised itself above Pope's wrecked shoulder. And the 16 2-centimeter long needles, all arranged in like an 8-centimeter diameter circle, are hovering over his scarred flesh right now. And his life signs jump suddenly with the insertion of the needles, and you notice that his heart rate increases and his blood pressure. And as a doctor, you know that all the chemicals that are released into his body at the time, cortisol, adrenaline, you know that he's in some discomfort. And say it's nothing unexpected. How's he doing?
Oh, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Just the usual.
His heart rate suddenly spikes on the monitor in front of you. You hear a muffled cry of pain from inside the cylinder. And then it kind of draws out into a longer scream. And the monitors on your console begin flash warning.
Well, I like try to attempt to figure out what's happening before
Okay.
trying to embarrass myself.
Okay. And all the alarms are going off. I think. Do you want to quickly make another quick roll using your
Okay.
education and medical?
Right.
And it's a very good roll. This is not normal. You know that. Something is very, very wrong with Corporal Pope at this moment. And you can hear him screaming from inside. And you can hear Dr. Brennan saying, just a few minutes longer, just a few minutes longer, just keep him there just a few minutes longer. And this cries of pain from within the cylinder just grow louder and louder. What do you do?
Alright, is there any anything that I could administer to like alleviate the stress, the pain, just knock him off a bit?
I mean, potentially, but I mean, would that affect the experiment?
Probably.
Who knows?
I kind of call out and say, is he one of the first to experience this machine?
First, he's the very first. Just leave him in there, just for a bit longer. Just keep him in there.
Keep him on the edge.
Okay.
He's still screaming. He's still alive.
I mean, well, probably. What's like the ethics in?
Well, that's entirely up to you.
Up to me.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, jeez. I kind of like look at her and
He's
see...
staring intently into her console as you look at look at her. This you see the green numbers kind of reflecting in her face, making her look a little bit crazy. Maybe, who knows?
Oh, bloody hell! Okay.
Talk
so
about dropping you in it with great pressure.
It's okay. I mean, I thought maybe I should be ethical. Maybe I shouldn't. It's okay. So do I see what's written on the console?
You can see all of these warnings that are kind of flashing up. That his life signs, his heart rate his heart is absolutely racing. You know, he's in imminent chance of a cardiac arrest potentially. His blood pressure is reaching ridiculous levels. He's probably going to have a stroke within the next couple of minutes.
Well, I call out, we need to stop this. He's going to die.
Oh no, we can't stop it. We just keep him in there for now. Just keep him in there for now.
Oh damn it! All right, I'm gonna. Is there a button? Is there a big stop button?
There is a goddamn huge stop button.
All right, yeah, I just punch it.
Okay.
Yes,
this is wrong. Oh, bloody hell.
And the machine kind of whirs to a standstill, and the bed starts sliding out, right out of the cylinder. And Pope, you can see his body. He's kind of barely conscious there by the looks of it. His body's covered in a thin film of sweat. And Brennan's saying, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that? We were so close."
When I first joined the whatever the
medical corps, that'll do.
Medical corps, I looked up to you and all your research, and as a researcher and a scientist and an individual that cares of humans, I can't believe you would do such harm to somebody that's screaming. You saw the whatever screen thing. His heart rate was too high. He would have not stood a chance.
And she just looks down at the console, and you hear her. It's like she's not even listening to you, and she just kind of says, "Damn it, we lost a lot of them."
Does it matter? Is it worth losing human life?
She gives you a long, cold stare. And then we'll jump back to Mr. Bahari.
That's what I thought. Do not speak, woman.
So, Mr. Bahari, you've had this odd encounter with somebody you're relatively friendly with. Yeah. It's kind of weird. What will Mr. Bahari be doing with his evening?
I think I'd probably follow up with the guy in tomorrow.
Okay.
I think that's the thing, because he was trying to get he wanted to tell me something, but he also wasn't evidently not ready for
but he
it.
didn't
So,
want to tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll give a bit of time before like I ask him about it.
Okay, sure.
Like what kind of time in the evening are we talking about?
It's only early evening, so it's only going to be about 8. Nothing too late.
Might
Yeah,
do
so
a
I guess
2001 and jog around the ring of the space station.
but I
evening
approve the
exercise.
reference. I approve the reference. You get extra XP for that. Oh, we don't do XP in this game.
I'll add 1 to strength.
Yeah, okay. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to cut to the next day, if that's the case. We're going to cut to the next day.
Yeah.
And you are outside. You're outside Dr. Barber's room. It's probably before you start your shift. What do you do?
Oh, it's just me.
Yeah, it's you, man.
Yeah, I'll knock or beep or whatever the appropriate.
Yeah. So you press the
That's-
you press the button on the door. To let somebody
Yeah.
know that you're there. And there's no answer.
I'll wait like a few minutes and give it another shot. Maybe they're busy, but then yeah, if they take too long, I can try and figure out where they're at.
Yeah.
Perhaps it.
I mean,
Go in.
But I might be able
you're
to
a
do
security
the
officer.
security thing, so I could request if we got like computer access to be like, where is Dr. Barber?
Yeah. Yeah, and the alert. Yeah, you can look for everybody on the station. They have like an ID chip, which is kind of hanging on a cord around the neck, like dog tags. And you kind of do a request for his, and yeah, his is coming from inside his stateroom.
Intriguing.
Yes.
I'll try. Like, I'll check the door. Like, if I override the door.
You what? Sorry, you're doing what with the door?
I try
Are
override
you
the
override
door.
the door?
Like,
Yeah, you've got as security. You've got a key
yeah,
card. Which
because if
will
they're
let
not
you into
responding,
pretty
they
much-
might be in a situation.
Yeah, you're in
Yeah.
pretty much most places, and the door slides open. It's dark inside. There's no other lights.
Yeah. I'll hit the light panel switch.
Yeah.
I get some light.
You step into the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
You hit the light panel, and the room is suddenly illuminated, and there's this faint organic chemical smell coming from inside.
From inside. What?
Yeah. This room.
Okay, I'll go in to investigate.
And once again, the room is quite dimly lit, even with the lights on.
Maybe there's been a chemical leak or something.
Yeah. Maybe why not? And Dr. Barber is lying on his bed. Lower half of his body is covered with the sheet. And you can see that his right arm is kind of stretched out above him on the wall. And it takes you a moment as you try to actually figure out what's going on here, and you notice that his arm is actually kind of strangely elongated, and it's stretching up on the wall. It's almost like attached to the wall, like you know how ivy attaches itself to the wall,
Yeah.
these little tendrils that kind of come out. It's kind of like that, and it ends at the top of right up on the wall, kind of, you can see kind of the air vent. His hand is like a thick spider's web,
Yeah.
vaguely in the shape of a hand, and it's billowing gently in the airflow. And you realize that then also that from beneath the sheet, there's from pretty much where his hips would be, it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna
as
hit
you
the comms
investigate,
panel. I know I have to probably make a pressure roll, but I'd still like.
yeah,
like,
I
this
think you
looks
need to
bad
make a
for
pressure
research
roll to
lab.
start with. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, let's have a
fuck.
pressure roll. So, yeah, I would like you to roll your pressure bonus, if you don't mind.
Pressure bonus. We roll the dice.
Oh,
no.
you have failed. So, tick one of the pressure boxes there.
Yep.
You're quite shaken up. It's probably, I mean, the hand thing is quite weird.
Yeah.
The other bit is probably even more disturbing. And his legs are no longer there, you notice. From about where his hips are, his body is kind of almost like it's stretched out and elongated into a tube. The tube is like it's fleshy, like a fleshy tube about the thickness of a forearm, a person's forearm, and it runs from underneath the sheet across the floor to the washroom.
Okay. I don't
And
think
as
I'm
you're
qualified
watching
to
it,
deal with this. I'm gonna go. This
something...
is why they're gonna run to like the control panel. Because that's like I need to call for backup because like I'm not equipped to deal with this, whatever this is.
Something like the tube, it kind of pulses like a throat swallowing, and you see it kind of move along down this kind of tube into the washroom.
To the washroom rather than
to the washroom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You hit the comms panel. Who are you calling? Who are you gonna call?
A good question. Probably the science team, medical, the people doing the experiments.
Okay.
Like whatever, whoever's on the labs, because like.
You want science rather than medical? Is that the deal, or?
Yeah, because I don't really know what I'm dealing with.
Okay. Right.
It's definitely like not an obvious security issue.
Yeah. You hear a female voice from the end. You recognize it as belonging to Dr. Lee, one of the researchers.
Yeah.
She's also one of the lead researchers on the biochip project. And she says, who's calling? Who's that? Are you okay? You don't sound so good.
Dr. Lee, this is Gideon from security. I was just doing a check on Dr. Barber. I think you may need to get one of your science teams down here. Something really strange, is happening. Like,
have you told McNary?
It's like he's mutated or something.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's outside of my field of experience. That's why I wanted to give you a heads up before. If you want to get a team over, I don't know what we're dealing with.
Okay. Call McNary. Let him know.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing next.
Yeah. And the screen goes blank.
Yeah.
Leaving you alone in this room with this.
Yeah.
So you call McNary, and he seems shocked when you describe what you're seeing to him. He said, I'll be right there. Yeah, sure. And he cuts off the communication straight away. There's a science team there within just a matter of minutes. Well, I say science team. There's a couple of the researchers, and they kind of look into the stateroom where you are, and they turn pale. You hear the my God kind of reactions from them, as they kind of say, what's he doing? What's he doing? And they kind of head over towards the washroom to investigate.
They never return.
Yeah, well, no, that's not quite true. A few moments later, they kind of emerge, and they probably look pretty much how you're feeling right now. And they kind of say, it's attached to the tap, to the faucet. And to the plug hole, and into the toilet. And then as they're saying that, you witness another one of these kind of swallowing motions down this tube from Barbara's body. We need to seal this room.
Agreed. We can get security on it. Set up a perimeter if you need it.
And as you do that, McNary kind of arrives and steps into the doorway, and he kind of looks in, and his mouth drops open. My God! What? Lewis, what's happened to him? The scientists just say, we need to seal this room. We need to do it now. And as they say that, you kind of witness one of them looking nervously up towards the air vent. McNary, he listens to these scientists as they say, we need to quarantine this room immediately. And as I say, you kind of notice this kind of little glance up to the air vent, where this kind of cobweb thing seems to be billowing a little bit in the wind, in the breeze.
Might need to shut down the air circulators in this section. Whatever it's trying to do, whatever this is, and why, I don't know why it's going straight for the vent.
How long has it been like this? That's the thing. We don't know.
I mean, I last saw him, like 8 o'clock last night?
12 hours?
But... So worst case.
So yeah, you kind of you step out of the room. Did you make your roll? Your strength roll? Out of interest?
I was just about to.
There we go.
Okay. 5.
Okay, that's all. Cool. Gotta make a note.
Uh-oh, he's making notes.
Right, I think that's probably at that point, as you're about to exit, you kind of notice that Barbara's eyes are open.
Oh, wonderful.
And there's kind of like a milky film over them. But you can see his eyes moving, like jerking around beneath. He's still alive.
Yeah, I think he might still be alive.
Oh my God.
And the science
I'm going
officer is like, holy shit! We need to. We better get a doctor here.
At the very least, but I'll go get the security guys so we can set up a perimeter and make sure no one else gets stumbling through wherever that vent goes.
And you kind of step outside, and McNary steps outside with you, and he kind of puts his hands on your shoulder. Mr. Bahari.
Yes, Mr. McNary? Oh no.
We need to keep this quiet.
Agreed. Do you want to have you have a cover story in mind? Or do you want me to just not try and because I was going to try to keep people away from this.
Yeah.
It's like a leak or something.
Yeah. We don't want to cause a panic. There's 800 people on this station, and we don't We don't
I'm
need
not sure I
that.
could explain this to anyone if I tried.
Right.
I think
Seal the
that'd be
room.
better. Will do.
Don't talk to anybody else.
Okay, understood.
And he wanders off. He wanders off up the corridor. Mr. Bahari, the security officer, has encountered something a little bit strange in the stateroom of his acquaintance, Dr. Lewis Barber. Barber's body seems to be transforming in some odd way. His right arm has extended and attached itself to the wall of his stateroom. The hand is now like a thick cobweb across the ventilation duct in his room. The lower half of his body has kind of stretched out and elongated into a fleshy tube, which has reached from where he's laying across the room into the washroom, where it appears to attached itself to both one of the taps in the room, down the plug hole, and also down the toilet bowl.
Must be
Hilarious.
thirsty.
Yeah. And periodically, roughly every 30 seconds, something seems to be getting pumped down the tube. And Mr. Bahari has quarantined the room under request from some very clever science people.
Yeah.
And his boss, Arthur McNary, who has also ordered him to not breathe a word of this to anyone. But I think somebody was going to...
makes setting up the quarantine very difficult, but I do what I can.
Well, in terms of quarantine, he's basically just asked you to seal.
Yeah.
Just seal the stateroom.
Lock the doors. Yeah.
Yeah, and pretend like none of this ever happened. I don't know how Bahari feels about that. But hey.
Yeah.
So we.
I mean, it's a thing he doesn't know how to deal with, so the less he has to think about it, the better.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's like, you saw something horrific. And he'd be like, no, I didn't.
So I guess it's about that time then that Dr. Tally gets the call that there's something that your presence is required. Your presence is required in the stateroom of Dr. Lewis Barber. Now, you know that he was fired 3 days ago. The thing that goes through your mind might be that he's had enough of the world, maybe, and has done something...
Decided to branch out.
Yeah, something silly. But you make your way... I assume you make your way. Are you heading that way? You tell me. I don't tell you. Are you there?
Yeah.
You there, Ninu?
I think I need a drink. Like, I do what I need to do.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll cut then to
he's completely out of his element. So like, it's not like anything he knows how to deal with.
Yeah, sure, and that makes perfect sense. So, Susan, you're probably in the office when McNary returns, and he does not look in great shape. He's incredibly pale. He's pacing backwards and forwards. It's like he doesn't really know where he is or what he's doing.
So, you okay?
I'm fine. Something's. He kind of looks around, almost kind of comedically, looking to see if anybody is in the room that might be listening in, and he kind of says, "Susan, something terrible has happened to Lewis."
Lewis? Dr. Barber?
Yes.
Who's he done? Well, who's he upset now?
No, it's a little more serious than that. I may be needing your help soon. We may have a breach.
Security breach?
No. Biologic.
Care to elaborate? I can only help if I have the information. I walk around the desk and pour him a scotch because he seems to be pacing.
And yeah, he drinks it straight down, real quick. I don't think I can say much more. Just give me 10 minutes.
Should I go down to Barbara's rooms?
No. And I need you to make sure, liaise with Mr. Bahari. Don't allow anyone near Barbara's stateroom, except for a medic.
Okay, have the medic's been sent?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll get security down there. We'll cordon off the corridor.
No, we need to keep this quiet. I just need time to figure out what's going on.
So is his doors locked?
Susan, why so many questions? Just do as I ask. This is very uncharacteristic of Arthur McNary.
Arthur? Take another drink and sit down. I'll go and make sure his quarters are locked and no one gets in.
He slumps into his chair, pours another drink, opens up his computer terminal, and that's the last thing he says.
I leave the rooms and head straight to...
Okay. Are you there, Nina?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
So you get the call.
Raindrops.
Yeah. Basically, somebody is saying that there's been a medical emergency at Dr. Lewis Barber's stateroom. The guy that was fired 3 days ago. It's urgent.
Okay. I look at the my senpai, who's not anymore my senpai, and look back at what's his name, Pope.
Pope. Yeah, Pope. This is the next day, so they're not.
Oh, it's
there.
next day.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're in the med bay. On your Todd, which is good because that means there's nobody else in there, no patients.
That's good.
Yeah. So you've had this call. It's quite early in the morning. It's about 8 a.m.
That's
And
okay.
Somebody sounds very worried on the end of the communicator.
Okay. I guess I would probably ask like protocol kind of questions, like you know when you call was it 999 and then
Yeah.
he's talking to
Yeah.
the ambulance,
Sure.
stuff like that. Is he
And
breathing?
yeah, and the answers you get to those kind of questions are a little bit odd. We believe he's still breathing. This may this may be a biohazard.
Biohazard? Okay, is the room contained?
It is now. We've sealed the room. You'll probably need protective gear.
Okay. Has anyone entered the room?
2 members of the science team and the security chief have been in the room, along with SEO McNary.
Okay. Have they been cleaned. What was
No, I think decontaminated.
decontaminated? Yes, contaminated.
No, they haven't at the moment. Shit.
We'll get them to decontaminate.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'll put it out there. Yeah, sure.
How long does it roughly take me to get there? Like, it's not far away, right?
It's not. I mean, it's not huge. I mean, jump in the lift, you can get down there in a minute.
Okay, I'll be there. I'll be grabbing my gear. Make sure the others are decontaminated. Make sure there's somebody standing guard, not letting anyone in or close to the contaminated area.
Mr. McNary has asked for discretion.
Well, get somebody from security, somebody that can be.
Discreet.
Oh, okay. So I don't know anyone in like.
No, because you're the new kid. Yeah.
Damn it. Okay.
That's fine. Is there somebody you want to call? You would. I mean, there are people you would know, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I would call somebody within security that is well versed in like science or med stuff.
Well, aren't you in luck?
I know, right?
Mr. Bahari, I believe, is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comeback medic.
Yeah. So you put the call out for somebody from security with medical experience. You also find out as you're reading the data pad thing as you're kind of heading down the lift. You see that it's actually Bahari is the one that actually has been in the room as well.
Okay.
But needs must, right?
Okay. I'm like, okay, he probably forgot protocols, anything like that. Doesn't matter. I need to focus.
Yeah.
And so I would grab like protective gear to wear.
Yeah.
Get like a med kit.
Yeah.
Helmet to go over your helmet.
Yes.
You're already wearing the helmet. It's fine.
You can't be sure. Right?
That's right.
You need double protection. That's what they say. Yeah, so I get all my gear, and based on the things that they've told me, maybe pick up a couple of things regarding that, like his symptoms and stuff like that.
Yeah, medical stuff. Sure. And you kind of, as I say, you're reading all this stuff on the data pad on the way down. You start issuing orders through it, and you arrive at the room just a few moments later. So have you got anybody standing guard outside here, Dr. Bahari? Is that the deal?
That was kind of the problem I was having was, like how do you lock down an area without telling anybody how?
Well, this is the joys of corporate living, mate.
Yeah.
Where you're giving contradicting instructions. And you get shot for either one. There you go.
I was thinking what we could do is just have put someone like at the other end of the section.
Yeah. Kind of the end of the corridor.
Yeah.
And
just
discreetly kind of trying to move people out of this corridor, I guess, where the stateroom is. Yeah, sure.
Some maintenance work.
Yes. So if you need some maintenance work.
Well, we don't need maintenance work, but you know.
Oh yeah.
We're trying to give them. We're giving people room so that they can do their work.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's not actually a bad cover, and
yeah,
perhaps that's when you get the call, Zach. That basically some maintenance work is required on corridor F. You know that's on the habitation deck. you know it's where there are a number of staterooms, but you're not sure what it means and what kind of maintenance. They do not explain that to you in your instruction. That you're just told that you need to head there.
Yeah, I'll just take a bag of generic tools or anything I might need, and I'll mention to the co-worker, like, if you've seen anything, what's going on, I've got to go F.
They kind of look at you, and Abdul, he kind of looks across at you. He says, "There's nothing on the. There's no warnings
No,
on the."
we just said I've got to go to F for maintenance, but I'll head up now.
Okay. And you climb into the lift up to the habitation deck. You step out of the lift. There's a bit of activity around. Kind of notice. Maybe one or two security guards that you wouldn't normally see around here this time of day. Some medical personnel. Dr. Tally, you've just arrived at the room also, the stateroom. And you kind of see engineer Zach Jensen as he makes his way down the corridor towards you, carrying his toolkit. He's not wearing any protective gear or anything.
Protective gear! Okay, you need to decontaminate. Decontaminate. Wear protective gear. Please.
What? Why?
Okay.
What's broken?
What's broken is more than something physically broken. I
Wait,
was
what
not
is
trained
it?
for this.
You don't need to know. Just take
Yes.
this gel.
I've just been asked to come to this corridor. I'm here to fix something. I don't know what's being fixed.
So before you can fix anything, you have to decontaminate yourself. This is a standardized procedure. This is some sort of a test that is happening currently.
Oh, very good.
And so you need to decontaminate. Wear a the suit thingy?
Yeah. Hazmat.
Hazmat,
Yeah.
yes. Hazmat,
Step into
and meet
incinerator
me
1.
right out here.
Would have not been better to tell me before I came up? Then we wouldn't. Why am I going to decontaminate? Is it like, am I going to get something?
In situation like this, you would not. There won't be time where they will tell you what to do. So we better get a start with it.
I'll go and decontaminate and change.
Yep.
On my way, I will, like, if there's a screen or
Yeah,
anything.
terminal, like on the wall or something. Yep.
That's all. I want to just do a little quick, if I can, do a quick little scan of that corridor, just to try and
Okay.
figure out why I might even be up there.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, just
yeah,
for
this is
going
routine.
on.
This is routine, and there are currently no any kind of maintenance warnings or anything on this level, which is kind of weird. But maybe the doctor's right. Training exercise,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I was just gonna say, once I've done that, if nothing's pinged up since, then I will just go back to where the doctor said.
Okay. In the meantime, Dr. Tally, there is a security guard. He's kind of posted outside. Actually, is it you, Mr. Bahari, after you've been told to decontaminate? Would it be you?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
It may already be too late. Who knows?
Yeah, Mr. Bahari is standing outside the stateroom. I mean, would you be armed at this point?
If I'm working,
Yeah, I mean,
I'd probably
probably
just-
carrying a dazer or something.
yeah.
Yeah. So you're standing
Yeah, I
as
hope I
if
don't have
you
to
are
defend
guarding
myself.
this particular room. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it turns up Tally with a flamethrower, just like time to decontaminate.
Time to take out the trash. Do you go into the room, Tally? This is the question.
Okay, so
I need to
Bahari
decontaminate.
is kind of staying on post.
Yep.
He's wearing his hazmat.
I imagine that would have been. Well, yeah, that's a tricky one because that would maybe
I didn't
be.
anticipate finding some kind of genetic mass instead of an acquaintance. So
Which is probably the first time that anybody's mentioned that there's something up with
yeah, Barbara's not feeling too
Dr.
good.
Barber. Yeah.
So I see him there. I'm like, decontaminate. Wear a hazmat, please.
Okay. So if you're looking at the body of Dr. Barber, I think it would be appropriate for you to make a pressure roll. So if you open up your character sheet and click on the pressure bonus,
Yeah.
it should make a roll for you.
Is that for me?
Yes, it's for you. Lucky you.
I mean, I've already seen it. It's old news.
So do I just press the pressure bonus?
Just
or...
click on pressure bonus, yep, and on the words pressure bonus, and it should roll for you.
Oh.
Okay.
Whoa.
So you need to check one of those little boxes on pressure level now. Then, as your pressure level increases, you have never, in all of your time, as a medical student, as a medical doctor, you have never ever seen anything like this at all. You have no idea what it is that's going on here, but it does appear. I mean, I think maybe you can draw some conclusion. In fact, let's make an education roll, and you can add your medical
That's true.
skill to this. Yeah. Okay. You kind of watch the this body for a moment, and you can see that Dr. Barber, his chest is kind of rising slightly, very, very, almost imperceptibly. His eyes are open, like a milky film over them, almost like cataracts, I suppose. And this kind of elongated tube that is extending into the washroom that pulses every 30 seconds or so. And also the arm that's kind of upstretched and covering the vent with this kind of cobweb effect. And you kind of realize that something is trying to spread through the station. It's connected to the water supply, and now with the hand, it's also connected to the air supply. You have never ever seen anything like this before.
So the hand is connected to the vent, and the other parts to the water pipe or something?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. So is the engineer back?
The engineer has returned. Engineer
Okay.
Zach.
Suit.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm just looking a bit lost.
Yeah.
What have I got in?
yeah. So sorry.
That's quite all right. I'm just thinking, is the engineer coming into the room?
It's been like good luck.
I'm waiting for further
It's such a
instruction
good-
because I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Are you standing outside?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
just like,
And I guess at this moment, you're probably getting the impression that actually nobody really knows what's going on or what to do.
Yeah, I would probably call in, like, say, Zach, because I know their names from looking at their stuff, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I call them in a like a concerning manner.
I'll put my head
Please
in
come
first.
in here and deal with this
Yeah.
issue.
Have you found out what I'm here for?
Do you see this?
You do now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quick, come
so-
have a look at this. Let's
so
all go
like,
nuts together.
so the vent, like his hand is connected to the vent, and there's parts of him connected to the pipe. That's the water pipe. Am I not right?
You are absolutely correct.
Okay.
I don't deal with the flesh. I don't deal with the flesh.
Which I think is a great reaction, but you need to make a pressure roll.
Is it pressure bonus?
Click on pressure bonus. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, welcome to the conspiracy,
Can she do
tech
it?
person.
Oh.
No. Yeah, you puke a little bit into your hazmat suit.
Yes.
Decontaminate.
I don't deal with the flesh.
No,
I
no,
don't deal with the flesh.
I don't mean the flesh. I mean the vents. You know, the vents, the water pipes. Isn't this your area of expertise?
Yeah, the pipes, but the stuff attached to them. I don't deal with that. I can't fix that. How am I supposed to fix the pipes when there's something?
Maybe
What
you
I'm
guys should try and cut
concerned-
it off.
What I'm concerned is that this, I don't know what it is. It might be actually spreading through the pipe
Decontaminate.
and the vent.
Oh.
Is there a way to what do you call it?
Burn it. Set it on fire.
No, just like
Blow it
close like the pipes or
Shut
something.
down the vent.
The vent
Should-
in that area, yeah.
I mean, I
investigate
guess,
it.
yeah, that would be something that would be possible. You'd want to do it pretty quick. Pressure's on. Pressure's
Yes.
on, Engineer Jensen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will go and find a terminal to shut off this section.
Okay.
At the vents.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more technical than that. You're going to have to open up some panels and kind of go in with some tools. So you're going to make a roll. And then, Susan, you have arrived down into the corridor. You can see there is an incident that is occurring here.
Do you have a hazmat suit?
No, because once again,
You need a hazmat suit. Decontaminate.
I
professionals, folks.
I
Yeah.
walk straight down to the room because obviously, and
Yep.
I
They're waiting for you on the. They're in there on the left. She's just gonna ignore me.
go into the room and look in.
Okay.
And I was to say, what's occurring? I thought discretion was being used here, and I switched the light on. By the way,
Wait, what?
Back.
Okay. First up.
I mean, the lights should be on, but I turned it on.
Okay, that's
Dice.
better.
Excellent. First up, Susan, you go in there, you're blustering away in your corp exec kind of way, and that's when you see the body. And so you're going to make that same pressure roll if you would not mind.
is it pressure bonus or level? I can't remember.
Pressure bonus. Ooh. Ooh. She's not too
We
phased
stand
by-
there and go. I do believe that the discretion protocol 459 is not being met here right now.
You are not okay with this.
I
You are
am
just-
okay
You
with
are
it.
just holding it together.
Yes.
That's all it is. You and yeah.
Okay, do
That's
I
not what
have
holding
I
it together
ever
looks like.
have I ever met Susan?
She still doesn't have a hazmat suit on. Just FYI.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't-
I think you probably would have encountered her. I don't know what you would have made of her, and she probably would have been. I'm guessing. Would it be right to say, Ange, that Susan would be quite aloof with some of these folks, or would she be friendly? How would you have
When
come
I'm
across?
working, I do the job. When I'm not working, I might be their friends. But right now, I'm doing the job, and I've been told by my boss to do all this discreetly and get this room cordoned off.
Hmm. So how is Dr. Tally going to perceive you? Does she think you're okay? I mean, when you first met, how would you have come across to her?
Oh, wait, me?
I'm never mean. I'm always nice when people first meet me. It's just when they wrong me
Okay.
or the
Okay.
corporation.
So yeah. So when you met Susan, she was all right actually.
Don't be so surprised.
Do we? What do you call Susan? Do you have like a?
You could call
Uh,
her Miss Wilkes if you wish.
HBIC.
There's no ranks or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Wilkes, I advise you to decontaminate right now and wear hazmat. This is very dangerous. I don't know what's going on, but it's not looking good. Currently, it is spreading.
Okay, I quickly look around, assess the situation, step out of the room, and sort of say,
Told you so. What?
please get protocol procedures in place. Get the
I've
science
already got
team
guys on it.
down here.
Already did.
I'll be back in 2 minutes. And I go to the end of the corridor and go into the storage room and get some hazmat suits. Which is a bit
Well, one for
awkward
the
because
good
I'm
guys.
actually wearing a skirt.
Yeah. So you're gonna make a strength roll for me right now.
Why is he making us do that? Then going,
Okay. Now, so basically, the moment you have Dr. Tully is the only one in the room. You've got
Yes. It's probably
you've got
a good idea.
a bunch of folks in hazmat kind of outside. Dr. Tully, what would you like to do next? Now, I think protocol would probably mean you might want to take samples or something, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably picked up my medkit. I'm not sure. If I might have like some tubes to take some samples or something like that.
I think that's perfectly acceptable thing for you to have on your person.
Dissect
Okay. Yeah. I'll be cautious when doing this since I don't know what I'm dealing with.
Yep.
And so I will try to take as much sample needed.
Okay. Which bits would you like to take sample of?
Oh, okay. So, like his hand is
Yep.
there any difference with like the parts that it's connected to, like the vent? Does it?
Yeah. What you can see is like his arm is basically kind of like a fleshy thing. As far as you can tell, there's no bone inside it anymore. It's kind of extended up, probably about 6 feet above the bed, so much longer than a regular arm would be. And it's kind of tapering into kind of a thin tube, at the end of which is like a spider's web-like structure. You know, like those really, really thick ones you sometimes see, like the ground-dwelling spider thing. So it's really thick; you can't see through it. But it's vaguely hand-shaped, but kind of slightly elongated. So it's like a large kind of hand. Ange loves it because it's got a big hand.
The biggest hand I've ever seen.
Yeah.
big hands and spiders right now. I'm not loving it.
And up until a few seconds ago, when Zach has switched off the vent, it was kind of billowing a little bit as the airflow from the air vent was catching it.
Yeah.
You know, like much like a spider's web in a breeze. Yeah. The tube that's coming from the lower part of his body is just more fleshy, kind of a mottled pinkish, reddish kind of color.
Muscle-like.
Oh, kind of. Yeah, kind of, but not quite. Yeah, it doesn't look particularly healthy.
So I would probably take samples from every part that looks like weird. But before I do that, because I don't think I'm very strong. What do I think of security dude that's just outside? Does he look muscular? Does he look
He
In what
looks
kind of way?
he looks like he can,
Wimpy, I think.
Hey, I'm not the one who ran off and put the hazmat suit on over it. It's good.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, he looks like he's pretty well built. Yeah.
Okay.
He's
So,
like, I'll take a sample from you.
Yeah. So I would
That's
probably.
him.
Is that Lloyd?
That's Lloyd. Yeah. That's Mr. Bahari.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Bahari.
Hey.
Yes.
Can I help you?
Say, Mr. Bahari, I require your assistance here.
What do you need?
I need to obtain some samples for further examinations and see what we're dealing with, and see if we have some sort of antidote.
Okay.
As you can see, and I point at the weird thing that's sticking out, like from the vent, like on the ceiling, the arm. I need some sample from that part.
Go up there and get it, old boy.
Do I have a? Well, the very anywhere along it, or the very end?
The very end.
Okay. Do I have a knife on me?
The spider's web bit. Do you have a knife on you?
I'd like to.
Have you not
Well,
got a
I'll do
hazmat
that.
suit on?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He has
Yeah,
now.
I don't
Oh,
know
have
when
you?
I put it
Actually,
on,
have
but
you?
I mean,
Actually-
I've been trying to get into a hazmat suit, but no one's given me time to.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't let you in until we have the hazmat
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah, so
He's
hazmat
so
suit
sweet.
on.
Hazmat
Yeah.
suit. Hazmat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so-
like I say, you take it like you want a sample from this bit, so you just like take the knife instead of just like stab it. So like just slice it off just below the bit, and then grab the bit like.
Sure. So it's like the hand-shaped bit.
Yeah,
Is that what
yeah,
we're going
like,
for?
Yeah, so like stab
Okay,
it, like, pin it
and-
to the wall, and then pull it.
So
down.
yeah, and it kind of comes away. It kind of comes away like much like a cobweb would, and it is all made out of these little filaments. And as you kind of pull it away, it kind of not quite bursts, but it kind of fragments a little bit, and you kind of see
Oh,
little
no.
fragments of this thing kind of floating around.
Good thing.
in the
this
air around the
hazmat
vent.
vest. We may want to clear the air filters or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because we
Get
turned the
that
vent
mechanic
off in here,
vest
so
Yeah,
Mm.
hopefully it's not going anywhere.
yeah. Hopefully,
Anyway, here's your
Jensen will
sample.
come soon.
Put it in
okay,
a little
so,
baggie.
Yeah. We contain the sample.
Yep.
Thank you. We'll need to get more samples of his body. Thank you for helping me do this. And I point. This is the next part.
Go and get that.
So, you know, as he
I don't
was
wanna
surprisingly
like,
well, they're surprisingly well endowed.
So as he was like getting the hand from like the ceiling,
Mm.
did the body react in any manner?
No,
I would-
not at all. There's still that
Yeah.
very, very shallow breathing. His eyes are still kind of moving beneath this kind of film. They're kind of moving, and you would probably liken it to like REM sleep, REM state.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay.
So his eyes are still kind of moving around, but he doesn't react at all. You kind of
Okay.
shine a light and try to get a look at his pupils or anything. His pupils are slightly dilated. I guess kind of almost as if he's high or something.
Like some kind of chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I'm as disappointed by the lack of reaction as you are.
Yeah. I wanted him to slap someone. Sure. So you kind of cut away the hand. You've got the hand, well, bits of it.
Yeah.
These
Bits
fragments
of
of
it.
the hand, which you kind of.
yeah.
What
And then
you
we-
wanted samples from?
We need a bit from the suckery bit. That's attached to the tap.
Yes.
You can maybe
Yeah.
cut it away from the tap because that'll also stop it getting water. Or whatever it is sticking out of the tap.
Sure. So are you going to do that, or
Uh,
is the doctor doing that?
Oh,
Like-
yeah. I'm pointing at
You're
Of course
doing
it's
it.
me. You're forgetting who you're talking
Mr.
to.
Bahari. Mr. Bahari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir Bahari.
Yeah, Mr.
Please,
Bahari,
thank you.
flex for me.
Mr.
Thank
Thank you.
Um, So you kind of head into the washroom, and you can see the tube. It splits into 3 at the end. So you have this kind of long forearm bit, and then it kind of splits into 3 thinner tubes that kind of, one of them disappears down into the toilet bowl, one of them disappears up into the tap, and one seems to be extending down into the plug hole on the sink. So when you go to cut or take a sample,
Actually, what I might try and do is see if I can pull maybe the tap one or the plug.
Yeah.
Just sort of like see if I can pull it out first.
Okay, and you kind of try to slide this thing out. It's a little bit slippery, and it kind of feels a little bit unpleasant even through your glove as you're kind of pulling at this thing like a muscle almost. You can kind of feel it tensing.
Ew.
And as you kind of pull at this thing, and as you kind of pull the end out, a good kind of 6 inches of this fleshy tube kind of come out of the, pardon the pun, of the tap at the end of the tap, and there is like I
tap that.
Yeah. As you do that, and there's another kind of pulse from further back.
Yeah.
It's very phallic. And
hey, you made it.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, so like once I've got
there
it
is some
out,
kind of fluid that's kind of leaking out at the end of the tube.
Anyway,
be careful of that.
once we've got it clear of it, yeah.
It
Don't
looks
smell
kind of like
yourself.
it's like a reddish brown.
Okay,
fluid.
I'm wearing a hazmat suit. I am completely decontaminated.
Yes, be
Yeah.
careful.
Once
but
we've
you
got
don't
it
know,
clear
is
of the
this-
sink, I'll try and like see if I can slice it.
Yeah,
Does-
and it
does
is
any
kind
of
of.
the-
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, does any of the like liquid like fall onto the ground or anything like that?
It falls into the bottom of the sink,
bottom
and
of
you
the
can kind of
sink?
see this. Yeah,
You put
so in the
the
bottom of the
plug in
sink
it.
there, you can
You
kind of
put
see.
the plug hole back in.
How does it like kind of react when it hits the sink? Is it just normal liquid,
Yeah,
or
just
is
like
there
a
like
liquid. It's not ever so. It's not like really viscous or anything like that. It's quite watery as it
Yeah.
kind of hits there, but it's kind of this brownish reddish color.
Mm.
I think you need to see a doctor.
Alright, yes. Put it inside. Put it inside the
Okay,
container.
here we go.
You cut away as well at some of this fleshy tube.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll have some
and it
juice
is-
left inside once it's.
Yeah,
separated.
it kind of it doesn't bleed or anything like that when you cut it, but it's kind of like very kind of tough muscle
Oh, nice.
as you're
Yeah.
kind of digging into this thing. But you managed to slice a little bit off with your knife.
Yes.
There's your samples.
Yeah.
It might be worth
is
doing the
it-
other two just to get it out of the water system.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I might carry on and do that while whatever she does with the little baggies.
Okay.
Or
Mr.
any
Barrow,
other
do
test
we
you'll
have
take.
any toxic container for disposal? Is there anything like that in the room?
Don't
I
know about
I
the
would-
room. I mean, the maintenance people might know because it's not really my department. We don't really clean up toxic waste and
That's a
whatever the
good
hell
point.
this is.
So I actually
Where's that
I
mechanic you were pestering earlier?
think...
Contemplating their
They're
choices.
trying to escape from their
Right.
hazmat suit. Get him.
Yeah. So Zach, you're being summoned. For something.
Yeah.
You got a plastic bag to put this in.
Yeah. Do you have any toxic storage units or whatever we could use for whatever this is?
That's entirely up to you. You can make that decision whether you've got something or not. But
I think if it had anything, it would be something like you put batteries in, like for battery acid or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming it might have something nice. A spare one or something in the toolkit, just in case.
If you want, you got it.
Yeah. It's just essentially just like a strong bag that doesn't leak and like
Yeah.
protects against acid.
And
So
yeah, and so
imagine
that
it's
isn't going to be eating through it. So
yeah,
it's going to be pretty tough, right?
yeah. So I'll just gingerly just hand
Underbag.
one over them.
There
Arms
you
length.
go.
There you go. Go back to my terminal, just like keep an eye on.
Leave the room as quickly as possible.
It's pretty much. I was thinking about checking about shutting off the water to the room if I can, but I don't know whether that would have to be done by the pipes or would it be automated.
I think that could be an automated process as well. I
Yeah,
kind of
but-
figured. I figured personally that you probably did it at the same time that you did the air vent, but
Yeah,
did you?
I want to do it.
Okay.
Just shut everything off to that room basically. If it has to be the whole
The whole shebang.
corridor, then it has to be the whole corridor, but mainly that way.
that would kind of make sense. Sure. So you have these samples in this particular bag or number of bags. Susan, are you doing anything in particular? Did you go?
I put my hazmat suit on and I've walked back in and I'm taking quick stock of the situation. As I walk over to the bathroom, I do notice that they pull that thing out and it's leaking.
Yeah.
So I just calmly turn around and say, "Where's that water going?"
Probably down into the water reclamation tank down on the utility.
Okay, so
You would probably know that. I think all of
Yeah.
you would probably realize that.
Yeah.
how long has this stuff been leaking into the water system?
No, but I don't think anyone knows. Probably
Okay,
been
so
hours.
we need to shut off the water system to the whole
If someone's
station.
on that.
It might have contaminated. Yeah, we're shutting it off now. Has it contaminated the whole water system on the whole station?
Oh, someone will have to find out.
Pull it out the toilet.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
already
and
doing.
it's kind of much the same thing. Yeah, as
Is
Bahari
it
probably
bigger
out.
in the toilet?
No, they're just these three kind of. It was like the actual pipe. It's probably no wider than a forearm, but it kind of splits into three thinner tubes. One of them has disappeared right up into the tap. One has gone into the plug hole, and the other is gone down the toilet bowl. It's probably.
So
in the
has he managed to pull it out of all of the?
Yeah, they come out easy enough. Yeah, and they it's not like they're moving. They're
Get them
not
out
writhing
before cutting
around
them
or
in
anything
case
like
they
that.
decide to make a run for it.
When he takes them out,
Yep.
do we see them trying to move, try and get any more back to these
No.
positions, or they're just?
No, nothing like that at all. It's like a pipe that just kind of pulls it out.
So did they come from the taps, or did they come from the body and find their way to the taps?
Yeah, they were pulsing from the taps from the body
No.
to the water.
Yeah.
Wasn't they?
That's right, pulsing from the body down towards.
So the question I'm asking is have they attached from the taps to the body, or have they grown from the body and reached to the tap?
I guess if you're looking at the body, you would see that from where the hips are, it is basically now kind of. It's almost like somebody's kind of just pulled along, as if the guy was made out of plasticine or something, and they've just kind of pulled him out and stretched
Trying to
out where
find
his
the
legs
water.
were. All has gone, yeah, and it's basically kind of this elongated pipe thing that's kind of now attached to.
So I think it would have gone from there and.
That would be
Yeah.
that would kind of make sense, yeah.
And my guess would
I mean,
be,
you don't
given
know.
that the pulsing is that if this stuff's coming out of these whatevers,
That's his mashed up
then
body.
there's more of there's gonna be more of this stuff in his body over that way. So we might need to get.
Can we
his whole
clasp
body
the
to a lab.
ends? I turn round to
I could-
Dr. Tally. Can you stop this stuff from coming out of these bits? Can you clasp them off?
Oh, you mean the body?
The talons that is now oozing out black, gunky, dissolving body parts.
I mean, You don't know that that's what it is.
I don't
you're
know, but
taking
I'm
a-
kind of making a giant assumption there that that's what I would actually think, probably.
Okay.
Um,
That's an interesting question. It's not something you've been asked very often as a medical professional.
uh,
Oh,
A string or
I mean,
Dave, you got any
it's
cable ties?
it's I think I can't like. Is Angie away from her mic?
oh, is she? Yeah, I can't hear you, Ange.
Right, okay. So all I was saying,
We just
I
should we
didn't
just,
realise,
should we
'cause I can hear her.
suture or tourniquet, like just tie off the ends.
yeah,
So
basically I
probably-
was saying we need to tie off the ends somehow with either like some, and I was asking the engineer if she got any cable ties.
Cable ties.
That's brilliant.
I don't think cable ties might. I don't think cable ties would fix this.
I'm just worried about
And
this
at that
skunk
moment,
leaking.
this there's like a ripple from down the tube, and once again, more of this fluid kind of spews out of these 3 pipes, and they go all over the floor, over the bathroom, the washroom floor, into the sink.
Code red.
Yeah, I kind of step back and go, right, we need to seal them like now.
So this would be a job for Jensen? Sealing the pipes?
I kind of think it might be medical because you
plumber.
are medical. This is kind of a fleshy skin kind of thing. Can we sew it? Can we staple it? Bit of
Wait.
bit of medical glue.
Wait, are we? Is this thing coming from the pipes or from the body?
From the
From the-
body.
From the basically,
From the
yeah,
bo-
the
From the
body is
body,
this,
okay.
this
Yeah.
elongated mass that's
just
kind of
pulsed
got
and
these
gone
3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was from the pipe. My bad.
No, it's from the
Okay.
not from the water pipe. It's from the human pipe.
Okay. So
That's-
there's probably no way that I would be carrying like those bags where you put like the dead people in.
a body bag.
A body
Oh.
bag, yeah. So
You could have
maybe
done.
Well, now let's think about this a minute, because you were told when you were called, you were told that something was wrong with a member of the crew. You knew that it was Dr. Barber's room, and you knew that he'd been fired. Now you could potentially make a leap of logic to think that maybe he's gone and done something stupid and
killed
ended his
himself.
own life or something. So you
Yeah.
may have a body bag with you if you want one.
Or you can
I-
carry it
I-
back
I
with
think
your
that's-
bare hands, if that's your preference.
I think that's perfectly reasonable for you to have that.
Okay.
Just carry it like a suitcase.
Yeah, I would have probably like stepped outside of the med center and be like, oh god, maybe he did it, and then go back and pick it up.
Yeah.
When I did that. All right, yeah, that's fine.
Flashback.
Okay. We gotta put him in the body bag. This is the only way I can think of to seal his body, and hopefully, surely the blood is not gonna seep through because that's what
No,
body
no.
bags are for.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Getting back to medical. Discreetly.
Sorry.
Did you? Yeah.
Sorry, discreet.
Are you-
That word does not compute.
Yes. We need some
Subtle.
discreetness here. We are failing here massively. The corporation are not going to like this. Get him in the body bag, get him back to medical, and put him somewhere cool.
Somewhere cool.
For now, we need to get this room cleared up and everybody away from this area.
To
So
the disco room.
I look at Mr. Bahari. I really don't have the body mass to do this.
Oh no, with that attitude.
Get the engineer to do it.
Lift with your knees. Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna need some help.
Yeah.
To
Engineer, bring
get
your
him in the
lifting
body.
exoskeleton bootstrap.
You could always call for a stretcher or something, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's not very discreet. But...
No, it's not discreet.
Whereas
just
carrying
carry
a
it like
body bag over your shoulder.
Just roll
Yeah.
roll up the floppy tubey bit.
Yeah,
There's only a bit of him left now. It's only half a body, really.
But I mean, also
It's
like his
just
long little
like-
arm thingy, so it's just gonna look weird.
Mm.
Just shove everything in the body bag.
Sorry,
You
sorry,
can do
madam. This patient had a horrific feng shui accident.
So yeah, I
I
request
quickly
help.
take pictures with my phone for evidence. Or my
Yeah, that's
my
definitely
pad.
not gonna get you in
Um,
trouble.
Not at all. So
Oh, no,
So
like
is
with
it
my
discreet?
work iPad kind of thing.
we don't have such things in. Well, I don't know what they are.
Okay,
They're-
well, whatever.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Dr. Tally, as you are putting this body into the body bag, you're actually quite surprised at how light it actually is.
Oh no.
So I just don't feel like eating these.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. To be
Oh,
fair,
poor guy
there's
must be
probably
spent.
no. It's not a huge amount of him left, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if you
You know
for
that-
hours.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, gross.
you know that he's probably, yeah. There's quite a lot of his body mass is not there anymore. As
Okay,
you kind of coiling him up into the bag.
As I'm doing that. I'm guessing that Mr. Buhari is helping me out with
Yeah.
shoving the body in, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, I kind of ask him a question like, this body is quite light, and those weird parts of him was sticking in the vent and the pipe. What are the chances that this, whatever this thing is, has just moved through the pipes?
I mean, I think it's quite likely, but I don't like to think about it.
Okay, then this
It's
is
inevitable.
But,
serious
no.
matter.
But we
And
need to
so-
get someone to shut down all these things and then filter them or whatever. So we can maybe try and
this-
get all of his
Perhaps
juices
Zach
back.
might know, like have a blueprint of the pipes and the vents.
One would only.
Yep. Yep, that could be a thing that Zach would have access to.
It's just
I'm
one of those
really-
awkward scenes where every like 5 minutes Zach gets called back into the room for
Yeah.
some random little
What
thing. Like,
now?
just make a
I'm-
list.
I'm worried that if I raise this to Miss Wilson, she might get very concerned. But I think
I
that's
mean-
the right thing to do. And perhaps she can provide us with tools or anything, discreetly, of course.
Yeah, you may want to just be careful how you word it, because I think people want to keep a low profile on this. They don't want
Yes.
to panic the station.
Okay, so I guess I just tell Mr. Buhari to just fill in the body bag with the whatever
goop,
that's
the
left, and I say wish me luck, and I go to Miss Wilson, and I raise my concerns that this body is this thing. It's probably not a body anymore. It might be moving around the vent. Although it might be very ridiculous, we have to be very cautious.
Just the vent.
And the water.
Water pipes. And the water pipes.
Wasn't going to mention him.
I think
Turn the water pipes.
I think most people have stopped trying to think about the water pipes bit. Because like spider webby fingers are easier to deal with than that whole episode.
Mm.
I think there's like a word, like a, I don't know, some sort of animal that can like break parts like planarians. Like if you chop them up,
Yeah.
they can split
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah, kind of
So,
worms and things like that can do it.
Like
Yeah.
boomerangs and things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
I kind of say that
So-
kind of thing.
What you're telling me is that the water and the air is maybe contaminated.
Not contaminated. There might actually be some sort of an organism that is traveling through these means. Although we've shut the vents and the water, we need to go inside and check that it's clear before we turn anything on.
Okay,
Uh,
so we shutting them off now might be a little bit like shutting the gate after the horse has bolted.
I really don't know.
Yeah. Whatever
How
a horse
long-
is.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really have a rough estimate on how long the vents, how long the limbs were attached to the vents and the pipe.
Longer than
Oh.
we've had them shut off, though. I turn round to engineering
Jensen.
Jensen.
Jensen's the
Jensen?
real hero of this story, by the way.
Jensen,
Wait a second.
Jensen, I need you to activate protocol 734.
What, an emergency shipment of toilet paper?
I need you to change the water supply to the emergency backup water supply and switch off.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah, I've just made it up. Play games with me, and you have to go with what I make up.
Mm.
We
Um,
and we need
Sure.
to decontaminate the water. So we have a very small supply of backup water.
Yeah, it would be fairly small. Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
like an emergency system, I guess.
Yeah,
And
it's an
so
emergency
therefore,
system for when we have to like clean the pipes or we have to do some kind of maintenance on the big system.
yeah, okay, sure.
I will need to
Okay.
shut down the whole thing to reset it. It will take a bit.
And you'll have to go down to the utilities deck, where the
Yeah.
water tanks and all of that stuff is. That there's going to be like a console there, a control panel which you can use to do all of that. But that's fine. That's part of your job, right? You can do that.
So we need to do that. And then we need to deal with the air vents and someone needs to go and check the air vents in the area.
What do you mean check them? What we're checking for?
You need to climb inside and check there's no more cobwebs inside.
Angela Jensen is about to have a very bad day.
At this point, I think I remember.
Everybody hates you, Tony. I don't know if you realise.
Actually, I think remember, I'm actually on 3 days holiday and I'm just going to activate it now.
Yeah, have a
It's good.
refreshing cold glass of water from the tap.
At this point, I'm going to remember about what Abdul said about these air vents.
Oh, the air motion sensor things, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Where was that?
they're all over the station. The one that's dodgy is in corridor B, which is kind of it's still part of the habitation deck, so it's not too far from where you are, but that's one of those. Basically, they detect changes in movement in the airflow or in air movement.
Okay.
So if like a micrometeorite or something goes through the hull, it will detect those tiny air pressure changes or movement of the air. That's kind of what it's for, or what they are for. But it's that one is dodgy. You know that. But the rest of them are fine.
Okay.
I like your thinking though. What did you want to do?
First thing I wanted to do, I was actually going to check the blueprints to see if there's a connections, like the vents matched up with the one that was going off. You know, if
Right.
they connected. So corridor, is it like on a different floor, on the same floor?
You would find it'd be like a network of air vents that would be recycling the air and recirculating it throughout the station. There probably is like a central kind of point where which will kind of then split off to these various different branches that would then feed air to the different parts of the station, which is probably what you didn't want to hear, but that's exactly how it works.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's just if there was a direct connection, then I was going to check it out. But yeah.
No. I think probably Zach may probably understand more than anybody else right now that
Just how screwed we all are.
Yeah, if this thing has been in the air vent before you switched it off, then there's probably a very good chance that it is all over the station by now. And it kind of depends. I don't know how much science Zach knows, really. But in terms of what you've seen, and I don't know if Zach was present when Bahari pulled the hand down and it fragmented. But you've got these very small fragments, parts of this thing that could now have, well, even before he'd pulled the hand down, may have been. It was moving in the wind.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I wouldn't know.
Maybe, yeah, that whether or not that's something that Zach would keep to himself, I don't know.
I would know
I'm
what
just
kind
getting on
of
the first ship out of here.
time frame the circulation would be, wouldn't I? So it's like basically the whole system would be circulated in, I don't know, fragments take an hour or something.
Yeah, it wouldn't have taken too long at all, really.
Yeah. I would actually make Miss Wilkes aware of that when she asked me to check the vents.
Yeah.
But like as a side note, like you know, a little bit to the side and just say, I'll check the vents, but with it being off, no more will get into the vents, but the recirculation on this station is a lot quicker than you may realise. If it's in the vents, it's already out. Is it airborne? Or is it just wiggly human bits in the things?
Yeah, it's just dust. It's just bits of skin.
This is creepy.
No more than you normally get in the event.
So what you need to do then is blow through a decontamination cleaning blast through all the air vents on the system.
That would cut off the oxygen.
You'd have to do it section by section and do it as a protocol 450 on the cleaning rotor.
But the staff will notice.
It's just say it's an unusual. You know, you're just doing an extra clean. They don't need to ask any questions.
They would have to prepare for lack of oxygen until it resets.
They'll have to move into different sections, yes. But it's like we've run on practice days. We've done it before.
Yes, but not to this scale.
Yes, unfortunately. But make sure you do it discreetly. Thank you.
I'd just be looking at like
types. They're a bunch of dicks, aren't they?
Thumbs up. You got this.
Okay.
Don't draw attention to it. Just tell them it's protocol 45 of the regular cleaning section, and that you are doing that and with the water. It's a practice run because the you know, as per normal. Any questions? Get them to come to me, and I'll deal with it.
Cool.
Okay.
That sounds like a plan.
Sounds
we'll
like
find out whether or not it's a good plan in a bit, but it sounds like a plan. So you are intending to kind of flush the air vents section by section of the station to kind of clear out any contaminants, etc. Is that right? Is that the plan? Yeah. Oh, okay.
And yeah, because that's
the boss is in. The boss is in.
Is he? Oh, best behaviour. Right.
Yeah,
okay. So you basically
Ew.
got it.
Yeah,
Watch it,
'cause I've
John.
got to
Jonathan.
do the water.
Right. So in that situation, then you are going to head down to the utilities deck. Are you going to do the water supply first? That's the deal, right? Or you want to do the air first? Now,
The air vents will take longer to set up because we've got
Yeah.
to make people aware.
it will-
So what I would probably do is liaise with security to get them to, well, basically we'll choose a section, get them to deal with it, to give me enough time to start the water switching over.
the
everybody's
book
gonna know.
passing. It's brilliant. Um,
Everyone's going to know that the water's going to be off for a little bit, and literally just going to say we're testing the whole system. I'll
Yep.
just say,
Section.
I've tripped on a wire. We're testing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally like, security, go and deal with that section. I'm going to deal with the water. I'll come back, turn it off, switch it over, then move everybody back, basically.
Brilliant. Okay, that's cool. So you're going to head off down to the utilities deck, and you're going to make some kind of. You can make a roll for that if you like. I think that would be. That'd be cool. It's not going to be too difficult because. These systems are designed to do this. It's not like it's going to fight you for it. So this is going to be. It'll be education plus your engineering bonus. Cool. So you start work on that. It's going to take some time. It's not a quick process, unfortunately. It's not something that happens instantly. But you switch over to the backup water supply. You know that you're going to have people kind of moaning that the water kind of tastes a little bit weird because this stuff kind of has been sat on a tank on its own for a little while, and it's going to be a little bit funky by now. Susan, what's your plan? You've kind of issued these orders. What are you doing? What's the plan after that? Are you heading?
Issued the orders to get everything clean and disinfected. So I turn to medical now.
Yep.
And are you still
Your
there?
turn. That's a very good question. You've
Or
got
have you
your
took this
samples.
sort of half-folded body bag of tubes and goo up to medical by now?
Yeah, I would probably yeah, I would probably get back to like medical to examine what the content that I've collected.
Sure, that's a great idea.
I'll head up to medical then.
So excellent. So that's what you do. You're in the med bay.
Yeah.
At the medical center, and you have brought this body bag in. You've set it up in a secure area, I guess, so that it's not going to contaminate anything else. And that's when Miss Wilkes walks in. Stand by your beds.
So is the thing out? Is it out? So it's in proper bright light now, and is it out the body bag? So is it?
Well, that's up to.
I guess I would take precautions in making sure that the place is kind of secure.
Yep.
So that maybe like the door might be locked, but obviously there could be like a buzzer thing.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, and I would have like in those scary movies when they have like those bag things around a body, like a bag curtain to just contain everything.
Yep. Yeah. So you kind of you've got like a kind of sealed room, kind of like a biohazard containment kind of facility.
Yep.
Within your.
I'm doing it super containing this thing.
I like it. Yeah. So yeah, you could probably have the body on like a bed, and have one of these kind of frames that's kind of sat over it, which kind of has got the gloves on. You can reach in and mess around and poke around with it.
Oh yeah, this is what I wanted.
This
is what I signed up
got
for.
It. It's yours. And so yeah, you pull out this odd looking corpse, which is now basically from just below the chest, and there's this kind of pipe extending outwards, and kind of coiled around now inside this body bag and inside this frame that you've pulled it out onto this bed. You're kind of the white sheet on the bed, periodically getting covered in this kind of brown reddish goo that's kind of being pumped out every 30 seconds or so.
How's it pumping out? Is it like just seeping, or is it like everywhere?
Every 30 seconds, there's like a little kind of trickle normally, but then every 30 seconds, it's like something is kind of barfing all over the.
Oh.
So, the body still looks human, right?
Only the top half, from kind of just
the-
below.
Okay.
Yeah, just below the chest, really. Even you have probably realised by now that there's less of it now than when you first saw it.
Even less when
Yeah.
I put it in the bag. Okay.
Yeah, but there's probably more of this liquid
Yeah.
inside the bag.
So I would take a sample of the weird ass liquid stuff.
Yep.
And then I will kind of like zip up the bag again. I wouldn't want it to get away because I don't know what's going on.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yep. And then I will kind of like try to examine the sample that I just collected to see what it is.
And you kind of look at this, the liquid. Well, you got like a medical scanner thing, which kind of acts like a microscope as you're kind of looking down at this. Is it the liquid that you're looking at? Was that the?
Yes. The thing that I just got off the body.
Yeah, and you can see that it's made up of lots of thousands and thousands of different cells, who are they're kind of all. They kind of remind you a little bit of blood cells. A little bit. But there's something not quite right about them. There's something kind of weird about them. And you can see that maybe they're kind of grouping in sections, like clumps, if you like, of in this liquid. And there are other cells that are kind of moving around inside this liquid as well, which look more like maybe kind of a human, like say skin cell or something like that. And these things kind of are grouping around it, and they seem to be in real time, and you're kind of seeing this, which is weird. They seem to be doing something to the cells. You could maybe the equivalent thing would be like a white blood cell attacking like a virus or something that's coming into the bloodstream, but it's not. It's like a skin cell, and these things are kind of crowding around it, and they are changing that cell into something else, which just happens to resemble the rest of the cells that are floating around in this liquid. So they are doing it. They are changing the cells of Barber into themselves. They're basically rewriting the genetic code of the cells.
Okay.
Ew.
If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. All right. So I like as I'm looking at this, I'm making notes.
Yep.
And obviously, Miss Wilkes is just outside.
Yeah, I guess this is when she's buzzing on the door to come in.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I need to finish the notes. And then once I finish my notes, I kind of like probably see it, but she's standing out there and kind of like rush and like tell her to get in and close the door.
Yep.
And I start yapping about what, like all the things that I've just seen.
Okay. Now I don't know how Miss Wilkes, or whether she knows anything about this kind of scientific process at all, or what she understands about it. But you are being explained to this kind of process of these cells that are transforming the cells around it into their own form, if you like. What you can gather from this is that Louis Barber's body is being converted into something else, into this kind of liquid stuff. And Dr. Telly, you think this is possibly to aid transmission in some way, in order for them to be able to move about, to get to different places. So Barber's
I
cells
see
are
what you
being
mean.
converted. Yeah, they're being converted into something else that is allowing them to then be moved around, if you like. I don't know if that
Okay.
makes any sense, but
Does it look like that? Like if that these cells could function on their own, and so they can like split into many.
um, that's an interesting point. You're kind of observing them, and they seem to be taking other organic matter and converting it into them effectively. And it looks like this is not a random process either. This looks like it's deliberate, that they're actually doing this on purpose, which is probably the thing that frightens you a little bit the most. And I think because of that, I would like you to make a pressure roll.
It's okay. It's just that my brain is too big and it hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it's kind of shocking, the fact that
Big Brian.
they seem to be behaving intelligently.
oh,
Yep.
They have a purpose, but you're holding it together. There's some, yeah. I mean, this is kind of mind blowing. Even this is beyond even those little nanite things that you've been working with Dr. Brennan. This is kind of beyond that.
Yeah. I mean, it's still cool, but obviously
It's
also a
cool.
serious matter.
But fucking scary.
Yeah. Could I kind of hypothesize that maybe when like the other part that went through the vent and the water system, that it's not just like another half of the body, it's probably maybe multiple things that are flying around. And
Do you want to make? I tell you what. Do you want to make a medical roll?
all right.
Education with your medical thing,
Okay.
and then I can maybe see what you can hypothesize.
Okay.
oh,
Oh boy.
Wow.
Oh,
What you're looking at, what you think you're looking
Uh-huh.
is two different transmission vectors. So you have whatever these things are, they are smart enough to know that they can transfer, they can move themselves through the water supply,
shit,
and they can move themselves through the air supply.
shit.
They're hedging their bets, if you like, which is also pretty fucking scary because that means these things are smart.
Shit.
Yes, we are dealing with something
Yeah.
Shit.
somewhat superior to us. And we know that it, like, the body doesn't kind of reject it, and so
No.
the body somewhat accepts it, and so anybody can be infected.
Yep.
And I look at Miss Wilson, and I say, "Are you sure we want to keep this a secret from other people? This is a serious matter."
What does Miss Wilkes think?
So,
So your doctor is asking you, are you sure you want to keep this from people?
I turn round and I just say, yes, corporate don't allow us to corporate rules state things like this have to be kept under secrecy until such times that we can evacuate.
Well, I mean, Mr. McNeary, he's the senior exec. He's pretty much ordered you to keep this quiet.
Yes.
Right.
So right now, you keep it quiet. You do your tests. We're cleaning the systems. Everything will be fine. Unless we find another half decomposed tubular body. Then we might have to readdress the situation. Right now, you do the test, you do your job, and keep everybody out of the loop.
I'm like, just like standing there, kind of like gobsmacked. This is like my second day at work, and all the ethics. This is not what I've been taught.
Your training manual would have told you about the corporate protocol of secrecy on protocol number 1.
I
don't
care
interfere with
for
pre-op
people.
civilizations.
Yeah.
I care for people, and people are just not just things to play around with. We are subjecting them to something possibly harmful that there
Dr.
is no
Talley,
antidote.
Dr. Talley, you have signed a contract with the corporation. You have been told, keep this under wraps. You keep it under wraps until I say otherwise. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am.
And I leave and go back to my office.
Well, you see, what
Well, she's
Amelia
gone now. You
thinks...
can do whatever you want.
I mean, yeah, but what
She's
Amelia
scary.
thinks is that I wasn't told to keep things under wrap.
Oh.
But the corpus, and so I
Runs out the corridor
guess-
screaming.
no. What I would do is probably try and get into contact with one of like well-known scientists that I like studied under, maybe that I kind of worked in like a dissertation with, and have
Okay.
like some sort of connection, and
Sure.
ask him about stuff like that. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. Now,
Okay.
the problem is that you are a long, long way away from anywhere where you are. So that
Okay.
message, you will need to go to the comm center and send the message, and that will take some time,
Okay.
quite a long time, to reach whoever. But that doesn't mean you can't do it.
Mhm.
You certainly can do it.
Gonna take time for it
but-
to
but
travel there and
it-
come back to me.
That's right, and
Okay.
it's a matter of weeks, not
Mm.
hours.
Okay, yeah. So this is a matter of urgency. So the next bet would be somebody in here that is more medical science, kind of has that sort of expertise.
Yep.
And I'm hoping it's not the person that I met with earlier.
Dr. Brennan.
Oh shit, yeah, I'm dead. What about
I mean, there's
was
Dr.
he-
Lee. There was Dr. Lee as well.
possibly?
They were both ones that were working on the biochip project.
Okay, so where is he?
She is. Well, I mean, you can get a hold of her if you wanted to
Yep.
send a communication to her. That's not a problem.
Yep.
And she answered the phone. She actually, yeah, the phones. Why not? She answers it's like those old 80s style handsets.
A brick phone.
And she kind of no wired. It's not cordless. This
Stand next to
too
the
much,
wall.
too much money.
exactly with a little coiled wire.
What do you have to do? The
And she
like
kind of answers
0,
it, but-
1.
Yeah, you have to because you want only if you have to dial an outside line. Otherwise, it's fine. She answers the phone pretty much straight away. And you just hear her say yes.
Okay, so
I can't wait to see how she's going to explain this.
oh Okay, so oh god damn it. So I will ask her if she can pop round the like the lab room, whatever the
Yep.
room I'm in,
Um,
and say that this is of serious matters, which I cannot speak through the phone.
and yeah, so she kind of she goes quiet for a moment. Are
I
you
say it's-
okay?
It's regarding and then I look at the body.
Yep. Dr. Barber.
Dr. It's regarding Dr. Barber.
And she goes quiet for a second. What's that asshole done now?
Please, I need you to get here. As I said, I cannot speak. through
You
the phone.
okay?
No, obviously I'm not okay. Could you just get here, please?
Yeah, sure, okay. And she arrives a few moments later. She's buzzing on the exterior door that you've locked.
Oh,
as you said earlier.
so is there a mic thing that before without even opening the door that I can communicate?
Yep,
Okay,
sure.
so I ask her to decontaminate.
She was a hazmat. Yeah.
Oh, is she wearing a hazmat?
I mean, you know, but no, she's not. Oddly enough.
That's probably something I would have told her on the phone to make sure that she's actually.
She's wearing hazmat.
Hazmat. I'm sorry. It's gonna be something that I'm gonna tell everyone that is getting close to me.
That's fine.
Yeah. And so I let her in.
Okay. And she comes in. What's going on, newbie? What the fuck's going on?
I say, all right, follow me and look at this, and then I lead her into the med bay area where the body is lying.
Yep.
Which looks like a half body. And I say, this. Does this look familiar?
She sees this thing and thinks. You can see her expression changes completely. What the fuck is that?
Okay, so from my analysis of what I've just looked into, I've took a sample of this part, kind of like point where it is, where I got from, and kind of kind of lead her to the scanner thing.
Yep.
And go through everything and what I have hypothesized.
Sure. So you explain about the cells and how they're breaking down the other material and reconstituting it in whatever form.
Yeah.
Using
big words. Using big words this time.
Well, you got to use big words. You have to use big words, and and her eyes go wide in amazement as you're kind of saying it, and she's this can't be happening. This is nothing. This has nothing to do with the smart cells, right? This has nothing to do with our project, does it?
I believe it does. We conducted a trial yesterday, and then I stop.
Yeah, and she kind of looks at you with it gives you this quizzical look, and she says, "But there's none of our smart cells in this sample you're showing me. This is something else."
You know when the trial was happening?
Yes.
The day before. I probably was just wearing a normal lab attire without any proper things, and my head is spinning that maybe Although I might have decontaminated myself, but what if I'm actually too late?
Ooh.
And I'm like, I'm just like not listening to what she have said. And
Is
I'm like,
this worth a pressure roll, I think? Is this worth a pressure roll? I think it might be worth a pressure roll.
did I do this to
Pressure roll,
myself?
pressure roll.
You did.
Oh
That's
god damn
funny.
it. I did it to myself. Okay, add 1. Right.
Right, add 1. What are you on now? You on 2?
2, yep.
Right. Okay. So what you want you to do now is click on pressure level, and
Yeah.
and just roll it. Don't put any modifiers in. Just roll it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. You got a 1.
You're
In the famous
experiencing
words of
episode.
John, don't roll a
Don't
1.
roll a 1.
Why? No, he's not even here.
He is.
His curse lingers.
No.
And
Don't roll a 1.
so you're experiencing episode. I've just rolled on that for you. So if you drag that across onto your sheet, the where it says, you can see the white bit of text in the chat
Oh,
there. Drag that onto your sheet. Yeah. If you would. Okay, I can do it for you. Sorry.
Oh.
No, I can't. Can't do it for you. Anyway, you are experiencing episode, and the episode is in shock agility. So basically, your agility has been reduced by 1.
Oops.
And
That's
and
okay.
we will deal with that another time, I think. But so you're standing there effectively. You can't move. Your mouth is wide open. You're panicking. You're in almost a fugue state, I suppose. You're not even hearing what she's saying to you at this moment in time.
No,
As you
I'm
kind
not
of as you realize what everything that all the information you've gathered so far is that something has infected Barber and has rewritten his DNA. He is basically breaking down. He's being turned into something else, into these other cells that seem to be working with a purpose. They've got a plan. They're doing something. They're using his body to do it. And it doesn't seem to be connected to Dr. Brennan's smart cell program, because you don't see any evidence of them at all. This is something else. And I think that's probably the best time to leave this session, and we'll have to carry this on at another time, I guess, because it's nearly 12, and we don't really go too much further because
Cliffhangers.
yeah. So and cliffhangers are nice. So
I
yeah,
screwed
that's
myself.
you did. You certainly did, and we salute you.
Thank you, everyone. It was nice meeting you all. I had a great experience playing this, and I'm gonna die now. Bye.